So most survival games are pretty straightforward. You spawn in Terra Incognita, gather resources, fight monsters and get killed by Beliar. So then tell me, what the fuck is this? Welcome to Primitier, a simple VR sandbox game about physics, crafting and terrorism made by the one-man army ultimate Martian Japanese NASA scientist Ota Mato. After being in early access for over 5 years, it finally came out today. This Garry's mod on steroids amassed a pretty small but loyal community of dedicated players and borderline psychopaths that every day pushes this game to its absolute limits, like Kuro, who makes computers and farms, Jessie, who mainly builds weapons and vehicles, and then there's Eeru, who is probably the most unhinged of them all.
Primitier!
I mean, the supreme coder ambassador of Saturn Ota Mato gave us all the tools to build and make anything we want. I just can't understand why most people are building weapons of mass destruction. Costing just around 20 bucks on Steam, it's a pretty good buy for VR lovers, wannabe engineers, or the sickos who actually enjoy Nomi Factory. Starting a new save, you spawn right in front of an obelisk. Don't read into it, no one actually does that. First thing you wanna do is get some wood. But Malk, how do you get wood? I'm punching the trees, but it does nothing. Well, obviously can't. Minecrafter, you have to pick up a stone and hit the tree with it manually. Just like I did to my neighbor's car the other day. Upon felling an oak, you may be perplexed on what to do now. How to craft cool things, you fool! With your own hands! After crafting my first ever weapon that I'll discard immediately after this very moment, I realized that on this island,
there's nothing. Thank you, son.
well, unless you count the trees and handful of slimes, but if that interests you, then get out of here! Go play Stardew Valley or something. The next obvious thing I figured we have to do is get out of here. Oh, like how? Just swim like in Minecraft? Well, good luck flailing your hands, idiot! Because in these parts, you need to build a raft. I mean, building a boat isn't that hard or anything. It only took me 3 hours to make it, and 2 more hours just to get it off the damn shore. I promise you, the grunting was necessary for the process. Now that we're aboard, some of you may think that you must make an oar to swim where you want, but those that do are a bunch of idiots! See, by making a gap in the floor big enough to not be caught by the grunt detection scripts and small enough so you don't fall through, you get locked in a falling state, during which you can move your boat freely just by walking in the air. It's pretty slow for now, but I'd love to see you try moving a ton of stuff just by swimming. The seas here are littered by the ancient technology left behind by our ancient ancestors. You know, the primitive stuff like modern day LEDs and solar panels. Obviously I'm going to take the trash, we'll use it to expand our almighty vessel. At last, we've done it, we've reached the shore, and lo and behold there's the giants, guarded by turrets proudly sponsored by Big Echo. Talk about green solutions. And there's also ICE drones, they wanna deport my ass back to the spawn island. We must get armed, but stick and stones won't do much. And trust me, I tried. Stone Age is not enough, therefore I must take it to the next step. That's right, Malk has to transition to Iron Age. So I gathered some iron ore and put it on some dry leaves, which I then ignited with
Flint and steel!
After getting all hot and malleable, I grabbed the new iron with my bare hands and smithed it into a fine blade. It took me a couple rounds, but we've made a saber. I mean, it's a pretty light weapon, good at cutting trees, probably at slicing up stew. And also I made an almighty Egida with excess metal, because you can't go wrong with a shield. Deep within the enemy territory, we encountered something that some idiots may mistake for giants. Unbeknownst to them, these are actually windmills. They're made of like 3 batteries and 1 LED, and maybe some metal,
Which isn't important really. What's really important is the electric motor that is housing up.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. All we have to do is walk up to the mill, and it was at this moment that Malk knew he messed up. This is the part where I tell you. These windmills are armed with heat-seeking anti-personnel ordnance. Thank you, omnipotent Galaxy Emperor, child of John Carmack and Hideo Kojima, destructor of orphans Ota Mato. To get to the motor, we first have to deal with these homing turrets. But Malk, the turrets are too high up to hit them with a sword, and there's no ropes in Primitier, so we can't make a bow. How will you ever get these motors to begin with? Now this is the part where I tell you about another crucial mechanic in this game, you monkey! Climbing. With just the sheer power of our appendages, we are able to scale any obstacle. This includes the windmills, and basically anything else. So these giant exploding slimes count too, but drones and homing turrets aren't the only thing this game can throw at you to fight, because as of the recent update, the supreme VTuber developer conqueror of all continents, Supreme Starlord General Ota Mato, has added the fucking automatons, the Ota Matos, which can carry small arms as well as make you reflect on your prior boxing career by the sheer thickness of their skin. Important thing to mention is that every single robot is not controlled by in-game code, but rather a real human being personally hunted down, slaughtered, and their soul and consciousness getting stuffed into the game's code by Mato himself after they stopped playing Primitier. And yes, the robots do feel pain. I'm sorry viewer, but you must play forever now. There is no escape. It is late for me too. And pray for your life if multiplayer ever comes out. So if they can resist getting hit by a rock, surely I can hit them easily with my weapons, right? Thank you, Mato. These weapons do nothing! We can't defeat the robots with blunt force alone. We must use our brains! And some improvised engineering. There's a reason they called me Uncle Malk, the engie main in college. Well, this really reminds me of that one part in Ravenholm. Excuse me viewer, but did you hear me asking? Just like any actual human being like you and me, after being brutally wrecked by a rotary ordnance, robots drop electrical components upon death. But despite how well it works, this weapon has one glaring flaw: it can't be moved. And we can't expect to take so much time to set it up just to get shot at in the meantime. That's stupid! Thus, we must return to our raft and make a better weapon. A weapon to surpass the Metal Gear. Something like the spinning blade trap, but smaller, more flexible, and quaking. Yeah, of course we're making the gauntlet from Quake. I mean, you probably saw it coming a mile away. Oh, you didn't? Get out of here, nerd! So by attaching a trigger switch to a motor with some batteries and adding a spinning blade, yep, it's killing time. Okay, but it surely can't be that good, right? I mean, it's just a toy, it probably can't even cut down a tree with one hit. Ooh yeah, baby. Oh hey nerd, do you have iron deficiency? I can help with that. Hey you! I like your cat, G. You know what they say, never bring a knife to a sulfide. I think it's safe to say that we'll definitely be doing a lot of shredding with this new toy. And so after a whole night worth of slaughter and cruelty, Malk returns to his raft to prepare for his next voyage to the Dark Fortress. What will he find there? That we know not. Well, it turns out they just updated the game a few hours ago, and it actually has a final boss now, so let's see how well our shredder works against the ancient core. So thanks for watching, happy Primitier release day, join the Primitier Society VRChat meetup on May 31st, I'll be there too, and have a nice day!